Hi, I'm Jamie Franks. Today I'm installing a brand new 16.7 inch NSR Noveske service rail handguard. This is everything that came in the package. The new barrel nut, the rail, the mounting hardware, and I also picked up the polymer accessory pack, which is like the little covers for the rail. Two of these 4-slot Keymods and one of the 9-slot Keymod rail sections. So that's it. This is my current upper. It's an 18-inch Noveske Rogue Hunter upper receiver, and I'm running the Duke Defense rapid transition sights. So I have to take all this off, and I'm pretty sure I may even have to take off my compensator. Might have to pull the gas tube and gas block. I'm not sure, so we're going to see about that. And this is going to be step by step, and here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the old Noveske Troy TRX rail and get down to the barrel nut and the gas tube and the gas block, and then see what I have to do from there. So now the handguard's removed and I can get a look at the barrel nut, and the way this barrel nut is made, there's no way, even if I took off just the gas tube, that this barrel nut would be able to clear this low profile Noveske gas block. So I'm pretty much going to have to take my compensator, then take off the gas block with the gas tube, and then unscrew the barrel nut and take it off. So essentially I'm breaking the upper receiver all the way down almost to nothing, as if I was doing a barrel change. So this is going to be a little bit more work than I thought. Okay, so our instructions say, so now that we've removed the barrel nut, put a little bit of grease on here, which I've already done. It says that once you slide the new barrel nut on, that you should hand tight it, and with it hand tight, there should be the top row of screw holes should be just past the 12 o'clock position, which, as you can see right there, it is. So now I'm going to test fit the handguard. So I'm going to slide the handguard on there, trying to be careful not to scar up my nice expensive stainless Noveske barrel. And now that I can see the screw holes are lined up and the rail is pretty square. I'm going to double check that in just a second and make sure my rail is square before I start torquing everything down and lining up screw holes and all that for final assembly. So I'm going to do that right now. So here I have fitted up my tactical rail alignment device, which is a LaRue tactical scope mount that I have with one of my scopes on it. That's how I made sure both sections of the rail lined up. And my holes are still lined up. So now I'm going to take everything apart, torque everything down, and hope that the holes stay lined up. For this installation, other than basic hand tools, one of the things that you have to have is a 1 1/16 inch crowfoot wrench. This one's a snap-on. I'm good friends with my local snap-on guy. And you need to have a torque wrench. This is also my snap-on torque wrench because, like I said, I'm friends with my local snap-on guy. According to the instructions, I have to torque this down to 40 pounds-feet. Then loosen it, then repeat 2 more times, and then do my final adjustment to 40 pounds-feet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, so I'm doing my last time here. I'm going to make sure. Alright, torqued up good. I'm going to Go ahead and test fit this for the last time. It says there should be holes at 12, 6, 3, and 9, and the rails have to line up, and the screw holes have to line up. That looks good. So once again, I'm going to put my tactical rail alignment device on here. Make sure okay. Using a little tactical mount. My rails seem to be aligned. So now I'm going to take the provided screws and try to get the screws started. And if they start, then I know I'm in business. Okay, I'm good to go. So now, one last time, I have to take all this crap apart and put my gas block and gas tube and everything back in. And then I'll do this, and hopefully third time will be the charm. And I'll be good to go. Okay, so after doing battle with my gas block, it's properly reinstalled. It gave me a little bit of a hard time. And right now, I hope I don't hear this when I'm shooting, but right now I'm not crazy about, there's a little bit of play in the gas tube now because unlike normal barrel nuts, there's not the little semicircle grooves, the little fingers that hold that gas tube in place. There's a little bit of a rattle in there. Not too crazy about that, but hopefully it's no big deal. Next up is putting the compensator back on, and this crush washer is really a one-time use part, so fortunately from Brownells I always keep several of these on hand anytime I have to do a little adjustment like this. Otherwise you're either going to have to reuse your old one, which you shouldn't do, or you're going to have to wait to buy a new one, as most gun stores, at least around here, don't carry that kind of stuff in stock. Alright, now my PRI MSTN compensator has been reinstalled with a new crush washer. So now it's on to installing the actual handguard. So now the handguard is installed and everything is lined up for final assembly. I'm going to use the provided screws and a little Torx head wrench to get all these screws started. There's 2 on each side and 2 under the bottom down here. So I'm going to go ahead, I put blue Loctite on all of these. And I let them sit for a few seconds so give the Loctite a head start on getting sticky. When I put the handguard on for the final time with the gas block in place, there is actually a little shim built into it to hold that gas tube a little tighter. So the rattle on the gas tube is actually a non-issue. Okay, so everything's lined up, all the screws are started and kind of hand tightened. Once again, this is a Torx head, and I'm going to go ahead and torque everything down. It says visually check the alignment and install the 6 screws and torque to 30 inch-pounds. I broke my inch-pounds torque wrench, so I'm going to use the old German torque wrench and make sure everything is good and tight. The provided torque wrench is a T25 and it's a little bit short, so I'm going to take my snap-on ones that are a little bit longer and put the final torque on these screws. You can see how much leverage I can get with these. So I'm just going to use my handy-dandy titanium snap-on ones. Next, I'm going to reinstall my Duke Defense RTS sight there at the end of the rail, right there. Got to do some blue Loctite on that, but otherwise, that's about it. Once again, this is the 16.7 on an 18-inch barrel, so if you have an 18-inch barrel and a 16.7-inch rail, that's what it's going to look like. Right now with the 18-inch barrel, and this compensator is 2 inches. With the crush washer, and I've got exactly 2 3/4 inches out of the barrel. So if I was running a 16-inch barrel, the end of my barrel would be there, and then 1, 2, and 3/4. The end of my comp would be about right there if I was running this with a 16-inch barrel. So it's doable, and it looked pretty funky. Might look kind of awesome, but I'm happy with the 18-inch barrel. and the 16.7 inch rail. I'll show you final assembly in just a second. So now I'm going to install the Keymod slots, or the you know, the little sections of Picatinny rail that you get for the NSR, the little keyholes here. Once again, this is Torx. Apparently Noveske decided to do everything on the new NSR rails with a Torx head. So it's a T15 Torx, and you got these little button guys behind it with the Torx head on the front, and on the back they made it pretty idiot proof, so you can see the little arrow here telling you which way points towards the front. When you take them out of the package, you actually have to loosen them up quite a bit. I actually thought I was about to break them or something because of how far you have to loosen them up. Then you just put the arrow towards the front of the gun and then slide it in place, and then you're just going to use your T15 Torx head and tighten it down. So this is what it looks like all done. I put some of the polymer panels in place here. These are a little tricky to get on here and on the other side where my hand's going to go. Those are actually trickier to get on than the Keymod slots. I actually had to take a rubber mallet and whack them kind of hard to get them to lock in place properly. But that's what we look like. So I'll take you around the gun here. This is my 3-gun rifle. It's a Noveske Gen 2 lower receiver on a Viltor MUR1 upper. Magpul stock, Magpul Myad grip, Duke Defense, Rapid Transitions iron sights, the PRI MSTN CQB quiet brake. That's right. This is my Pride Fowler Industries CQLR1 1-to-4 power rapid reticle scope. This is the best scope I've ever used, and it's sitting on a LaRue Tactical SPRE mount. This is my 3-gun rifle, and now that I've made all these adjustments and I had to install this rail, which meant basically taking the barrel all the way off and taking everything off of it, now this means I have to go re-zero everything. I should just need to verify the zero on the scope, but guaranteed I'm going to have to redo the iron sights. But that's it. I swapped out my 13-inch Noveske Troy TRX rail for the 16.7-inch Noveske NSR Handguard. It took me about an hour and a half, all said and done, following the instructions to the letter. It took me several times to torque the nut down in accordance with the instructions and do everything right, and get everything the way it's supposed to be on there. But I'm very happy with the outcome. I weighed the rifle beforehand, and even though this rail is actually almost 4 complete inches longer than the other rail, the rifle comes in weighing exactly the same, so I'm very happy about that. It doesn't feel quite as front heavy, and even though I know in my mind the rifle isn't actually longer, it really looks like it. That longer rail makes the entire rifle look quite a bit longer than it actually is. It looks really cool. I'm really happy with it, and we'll see how she does in the 3-gun circuit. Thanks for watching. Good luck.